All right, so we got to make huge updates to Jim and Peggy. What I had thought was Jim's monthly pension of $7,200 a month was actually his annual pension of $7,200 a year, not a month. So it's a pretty significant difference. So what I did in here is I went and I just changed his pension over to an income from $7,200 a month to $7,200 annually, if that makes sense. And then I also, because we're not going to be, well, let's just go into it. So, all right, so what happens, that's all I've changed so far. I have changed one other thing I'll share with you in just a second. So when we went to retirement, we're like, you only got 11% probability of success. It's actually 4% before that. And then what I did is I went to profile goals, and instead of buying a car every 5 years, I'm doing a car every 10 years, a new car for $50,000. In fact, what we should do is do a 40,000 every 10 years as opposed to every 5 years, or we could do 25,000, maybe do like 25,000 every 5 years. How about that? That might work better. 25,000 every 5 years. No reason to buy a $50,000 car every 5 years. It's not going to work. So let's see. I have no idea what it's going to look like. Let's take a gander here. Yeah, 16% retirement. That's not going to get the job done. Now remember, their investments are invested pretty aggressively. 80-20, 6.5% is their expected return with a standard deviation of 13.7. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable that. Well, because we can't go too conservative. We just can't. But we'll mess around with some of the numbers here. Here's 70-30, so one step down from the current. You'll see is 6.5 to 5.3. Standard deviation goes from 13.7 to 11.7. So, all right, so let's keep running this here. So we're going to do a couple things. Remember, they're getting a pretty significant income off their business property. They're getting $3,300 a month, so that's good. They're going to need that. So let's go to retirement cash flows, and let's just take a gander at what we're looking at here. So he's taking social. We got Peggy taking Social Security now. Let's see. What if we have Peggy's taking Social Security next year instead when she's So I don't like. Well, let's take a look. I mean, because they have Peggy dying when she's 74. Yeah, it's just how old is Peggy again? Let's take a look here. Peggy is 64. Let's just have her. Let's have her taking it now. You can't have Peggy taking it later if she's not going to be around that long. I know that sounds brutal, but that's the reality we're dealing with. So let's have her take it now. It will be reduced. Let's have Jim taking his at 70 then and see what that looks like. All right, so a couple things. We're going to have Peggy taking it now, Jim taking it at 70. Let's see what that does. And it drops it, actually. That's not going to work. All right, so let's have Jim taking it at 67. What's Jim's date of birth? Jim's date of birth is 55. Let's have him take at 66. That'll be his full retirement age. So Jim takes at 66. There we go. All right, and Peggy takes hers at, we're going to have her take hers at 65. That won't be her full retirement age, but that's what I had last time. Maybe that's what they had. I can't remember, but let's see. That's a little bit better. All right, so let's go to cash flows. We're gonna try a couple of things here. All right, so there's their income when they both retire. 40,000 years from Social Security. They get 38,000 coming from the business. Their total inflows are $78,000. Expenses are $72,000 because we have $5,000 a month in living expenses plus $3,000 in housing, homeowners insurance and property tax, and they get health care. All right, so their expenses are basically covering their income is covering their expenses, but then they have these goals of vacation, which that's a pretty big deal, $20,500 vacation, and then they give $300 a month to the grandkids. So that's a challenge there. So that's going to bring their taxes up. They're going to make their portfolio be dwindled. The net flows are negative cash flow, and I don't think it doesn't ever go to the positive. All right, so let's take a look at what the accounts look like. Ending balance, you can see the Roth, traditional IRA, and it drops by the time Jim is 80. Yeah, that's not going to work. All right, so let's go back to, yeah, so that's not going to work. So the first thing we do is we say, okay, instead of, now he said we spend between 4,000 and 5,000 a month is his goal. So let's do 4,000 a month and see what that does instead. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, good, good, good. So I like that. That's good. So I'm very comfortable with that actually. So they just dropped their expenditures from 5 to 4,000, and he said between 5 and 4,000. So let's go to profile. We're gonna go to, oops, we're gonna go to not profile. We're gonna go to retirement. We're gonna go to cash flows. Okay, good. Now we're starting to have some positive. Okay, good, good, good. So now we're starting to have surplus income. That's fantastic. So what they're doing is while Peggy's alive, they're enjoying themselves for sure. Then Peggy dies right here, 75, and then and a couple years later they start having some negative cash flows. And you can, I mean, some positive cash flows. And you can see here that's their goals are going up. That's when Jim buys a new car. I bet when he's 80 years old, he won't need a brand, $25,000 car. I bet he'll just drive his car fine. But we're gonna leave that in there just for the bells and whistles here, or poop and giggles. All right, but that looks pretty good. So even if they're spending 25,000 a year on a car, every 5 years, they're still in pretty good shape, or Jim's still in pretty good shape. And you'll see here their income, their expenditures drop from 70,000 to 76,063. So that's a $14,000 drop. And that's 14,000 divided by 76. Yeah, that's about a 20% drop, which I think makes sense. Everyone says your income, your expenses drop by half. No, they don't. They don't. And then their goals will drop. Yeah, Jim's still not going to be okay. He's still not going to be having $25,000 vacation goals when Peggy's gone. So let's stop that in 2030. Let's stop the vacation goal in 2030. All right, and we can say 2030. There we go, because Peggy will be gone, so he's not going to have a $20,000 vacation goal without his beautiful. That's for sure. And that should make things look a lot better, I think. It's going to save 100. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, good, good. So if we go to $5,000 a month while Peggy's alive, they have a nice vacation while Peggy's alive. That one, look at that. I mean, that's crazy. The difference between 4,000 and 5,000 is substantial. So what if we do 4,500 a month? Yeah, that's pretty good. So basically, in the Army, we call this bracketing. So you'd have these forward observers attached to your infantry unit, and the FOs would call the fire mission, or whatever they called it, where the artillery would go here, then 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 come back until they hit the target. I remember the FOs were like, all right, call, wah, wah, wah. You're like, man, I never knew how to do that. I never fired any artillery, but that's what they do. So bracketing, we're starting with 4, we're going to 5, we're coming back to 4,500. That's right there in my ball. That's fine right there without question. So they can spend $4,500 a month, not really have any risk of running out of money for sure. And then, of course, Peggy's gone. So if Jim needs to tighten his belt, well, heaven forbid, tighten your belt, man. No big deal. It's just you. So he can do that easily. No problem at all. Let's take a look at taxes. Yeah. And so the taxes while Peggy's alive. See, I like this. Their taxes are low while Peggy's alive. It will be higher while Peggy's gone, but I don't want them to pay more taxes while Peggy's alive, because that's just, I mean, why stress it out? Why stress the plan out while Peggy's alive? I mean, obviously he wants to enjoy his time with his wife, but let's see what happens here. We can certainly do Roth conversions. We'll just, I don't think I like that, but we'll try it. We'll say, Jim does a 25,000 a year Roth conversion. I just don't think it's gonna be worth it, but let's try it here, and we'll do it until do it for 8 years or so, and let's see what that does. It was 74% before. That's not bad. Let's take a look what the tax man looks like. Maybe. I mean, that's I don't like it. It's just too close. It's just too close. I'll leave that up to them. I don't see, you're on you're gonna be fine, Jim. But it went. Let's do this. Let's try. We'll try 35,000 a year. See what that looks like. I just don't like it. That's just too risky to me. So Jim's gonna be better. He's not gonna be paying as much taxes here if he does 35,000 a year conversions as he does with Peggy around. But why would you just go enjoy the money, man? And then you got to pay a little bit more on the back end. What to do on the back end? You're in their mid 80s. You're in your late 80s, late 70s, 80s. You're just not. Look, you got grandkids and kids, but you're not gonna. I hate to say it. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what's the likelihood you'll be out there partying like it's 1999 without your better half? I don't think so. So you pay a little bit more taxes. Whoop-de-doo. I'm not going to recommend Roth conversion. I'll let you make that decision, Jim. I'm not going to recommend it. I just don't think it's all that beneficial to do, because you only have 10 years left with Peggy here, and it goes from hardly any taxes while she's alive, to 14%. It's a 40% increase. I get it. I don't think it's that big a deal, man. I just don't think it's a big deal. If you look at the 1040, we can look at it 2021. You're paying $7,500 on $94,000. Basically $100,000 in income. That's not so bad. Now Peggy's dead. We go to 2034, right? Yeah, you got 110,000 income. You're paying 15,000 tax. That's a 12% effective tax rate. I forgot where they live. Alabama, I think. I can't remember, but I don't know. I don't think that's advisable. All right, so I think a couple things going on. I think you should take Social Security at your full retirement age. Let's just have Peggy taking at her full retirement age. Hopefully I'm not mumbling here. I'm kind of thinking out loud. That might be the way to do it. Have Peggy taking at full retirement age. Yeah, it's not really going to change much. All right, so what's happening here? If we go to cash flows, and we're going to an accounts, and any withdrawals from accounts, see how they're pulling money out of the IRA anyway? We don't want to double dip on that to make them do Roth conversions. I just don't think that's an advisable thing. And the reason I say that is because you're already taking money out of your IRAs, guys, in which to cover these deficits in cash flow. So why add fuel to the fire there? I know you can do it because you're married, filing jointly, and Peggy's still alive. But man, you got 10 more years. Just don't. Just don't. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more tax when you hit 72, Jim, because you got the RMDs and whatnot. And then Peggy will die, and so you can see here. Look, man. The tax goes from 74. We'll use that because that's a non-car year. From 14,000 to 16,000. Well, the income drops from 48 to 35. But you're already used to paying 14,000. So stroking a check for a couple extra $1,000 it's just not going to make or break you. I don't see the benefit of that at all. What happens if we made the portfolio a little bit less aggressive? We'll just make it moderate. 50, was that 50-50, 60-40, something like that? Let's just take a look. Be less, no, don't do that. You got to keep it, let's do growth. That's 70-30. Yeah, you got to keep it pretty aggressive. You got to take advantage of stocks. Hopefully they'll grow again. Wait, I think I got Roth conversions here. Do I? What am I doing here? Let's just go to current strategy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so don't do Roth conversions. You got to keep your portfolio pretty much the way it is, which is invested 80-20, which I like. Oops. We want to make sure we want the Roths tax-free. We want to go to... Yeah, we want to get those. I would make those Roths IRA fully aggressive in stocks, absolutely, and then have any bonds you have in your IRAs, the traditional IRAs, is fine. But you don't want any bonds in your Roth, man. No way, Jose. Here's your tax deferred. Yeah, so perfect. I would just move your Roths to 100% stocks. That's what I would do. I'd take Social Security at full retirement age. Have Peggy taking it ASAP for sure. I would not do Roth conversions, unlike what I said before when I said you should do Roth conversions. Well, before I thought you had a 72,000 a year pension, which turns out you don't. Watch your expenses. If you go anywhere between $4,000 and $5,000 a month, you're fine. $4,000 and $4,500 a month, excuse me, you're fine. 4,000 is preferable. 4,500 is okay. 5,000 is too much. Don't do Roth conversions. I can't remember if I said that 1,000 times. I think I did. And that looks good. All right. Your taxes are not that big of a deal. I mean, they're not. They're just, look, you're, 15% when it's just you. I mean, that's not cheap, but it's 7.7% when your better half is here. It's just not that big of a deal. And then, of course, I have you, instead of getting a new car every 5 years, I think I had at $50,000. I got you getting a new car every 5 years at $25,000 bucks. Yeah. And when I say a new to you, it doesn't have to be a brand spanking new car. So keep your investments where they are. No bonds and Roths. Take your Social Security FRA. Do not defer till 70. Don't do Roth conversions. Keep your expenses between $4,000 and $4,500 a month. Take your vacations, enjoy it. But then once Miss Peggy has gone to her greater reward, well, just slow down a little bit, if that makes sense. Anyway, I hope this helps. Blessings to you. We'll see you.